Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, that's my song. That song was made just for me. If you could hear the textures and the nuance, like it's just barely getting good at that point. All right. Let me go ahead and get started. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy, as you all probably already know. I'm going to be doing a reading. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is oh, shoot. Heaviness over what's going on. Now, I don't know what's going on, but it feels heavy. I assume it feels like super heavy for whoever is going through it. And I don't know. Let's just see where the cards take us. I guess. Okay. All right, guys, let's get started. So, a lot of things are going on, I assume, because it feels heavy for whoever it feels heavy for. And, when things get heavy, we have a tendency to seek clarification, to seek guidance from other people. And I don't know if you need that. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you need that or if that's the very thing that is basically causing you to feel some kind of way, to not trust yourself, not trust your own intuition. As much as I love you guys coming and joining me for pretty much every live stream, I love that. Don't get me wrong. My main thing is I want you to feel empowered in your life. I want you to understand, to know without a shadow of any doubt that you're capable. You are more than capable. You are someone who is very empowered, but just don't realize how empowered you actually are. Hopefully, this reading will help you to see that you're very empowered, and that although it's nice to get some clarity from someone who is basically looking from the outside in, that is nice. Don't get me wrong. it's even better to get clarity from within yourself. Okay. Okay. Ooh, intention is upside down. What are you intending? Is this something that you need clarity on, your intention? Is something causing your perception to be very skewed, very distorted? Because that distortion can be corrected. It can be corrected with effort. And it's just a matter of you being willing to put the proper level of effort into your life and your growth and all of this amazing stuff. Because if you don't put effort into it, I'm not too sure what happens for you. I'm not too sure that you get through this period in the most gentle, most compassionate way possible. Lack of action is one of the biggest reasons why we suffer and struggle. And it's not that we always have to go, 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 go. We don't always have to be go, 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 go. Sometimes we have to just sit quietly, but in that intention of needing, the stillness, the silence, that lack of action is actually your chosen action. We can't always choose that though. Okay. We can't always choose to let life have its way with us. Sometimes we need to let life have its way with us when we're constantly go, go, go. Yeah. Life needs to have its way with us. This is about balance. Okay. It's not all or nothing. It's not one answer is the end all be all for all situations. You have to sit and think, what is your intent? What are you trying to accomplish? Shadow, the scrying mirror. I am wondering if for some of us, we're now facing our shadow. We are facing, I swear there was never a face in it. It's just creepy. I don't remember there ever being a face in this. And I've had these cards for some time. So, you know, I don't know. Um, but for some of us, we are now facing our shadow and we're needing to become very aware of what it is we're avoiding. Ooh. Mhm. Mr. Hay over here says distorting clarity is how wars are won. Many of us fight ourselves and win. Ooh, that internal war, that's such a potent perception. When we deny ourselves, when we distort our intention by trying to do for others before we can do for ourselves in order to balance, it's not something selfish. You create an internal war. When you stay quiet just for the sake of external peace, that is the initiation of internal war. Yeah. Eventually, you will say something. The longer you wait, the more pronounced the aggression is when you finally speak. So, speak clearly and at the start if possible. And sometimes we have to kind of not say anything for a little bit, you know? Um, but eventually you have to say something, okay? The foundation is upside down. Whatever it is you're doing, going through, there's a potentiality that from inception, it's something that was not properly calibrated for your needs. It was a decision that was not taking into consideration exactly what it is you need, exactly what it is that that will lead to your most compassionate pathway of growth. You'll grow no matter what. That's just a given. You can grow in any situation. You're that type of plant where no matter the soil, no matter the terrain, no matter the altitude, you can grow. You're like a bull thistle. I think bull thistle grows everywhere, right? And that once that starts to grow, it's really hard to get rid of. It is so, so hard to get rid of. And maybe you don't need to be get rid of. Sorry. Maybe you don't need to be gotten rid of. Maybe you're the only one trying to get rid of it, trying to get rid of you and your truth. Maybe that's what the heaviness is. This desire to deny yourself and your journey and your needs and all of these messages that you get from soul. There's no more need to deny anything. You know how many people are increasing in their abilities every day? Do you know how many people have been so, so, so traumatized by their lives? And that trauma is the very thing that developed their intuition, it developed their empathy. They are highly in tuned, highly sensitive empaths, and they can see, hear, and feel everything that you are trying to hide from yourself. I see a question. Ayahuasca will help? I don't know. I wouldn't take ayahuasca on my own, and I definitely would seek out someone who's traditionally trained, not no new age person trying to be spiritual. Mama Aya will tear you apart. She will show you your innards. And if you don't have the courage to look yourself in the mirror, I don't know that you should be taking or playing with Mama Aya. I don't know you should do that. There are too many people who take mind-altering substances and have no real understanding of the truth of their purpose. San Pedro, all of these different things, you know? You have to have the proper mindset and intention to be tapping into consciousness levels at that depth. You can't just do it nonchalantly, okay? They do. Um, Gerard says, "Our ancestors thought psychedelics help see self." They can. That's why I'm saying, like, if you are not ready to take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, I don't know that you're ready to take these substances where you lose all inhibition and control. Okay? It's not for me to tell you to do it or not do it. It's just like exactly here, Gerard says, I wouldn't recreationally, you know? Um, it's not a recreational thing. It's just not. You know, you have to be really willing to face yourself, to experience the death of ego. And that's just a layer of the onion that you are. Yes, mushrooms. And I'm again, I'm not trying to encourage use or dissuade you from using um, these very sacred medicines. But if you don't understand that they are a medicine, that's going to get you into some really you know, so you have to be careful with that. One thing that you guys can definitely look into is microdosing. That might be an avenue that you could kind of explore um, without the full like shebang of psychedelics, you know, because when you microdose, you're not taking it at a level that would cause a psychedelic experience. So I'm just, you know, I'm just trying to encourage you guys to be as careful as possible. Um, I don't want to encourage or discourage anyone from exploring specific things. You know, that's for you to decide for yourself. That is for you to make this informed decision. That's my emphasis. It must be an informed decision. As long as you're informed and you know what you're signing up for, you know, that's up to you. It might be something that helps you. I know I have plenty of friends who struggled with addiction and all these other different things, depression, just really heavy, painful situations. And what ended up happening was they went and they did several cycles of ayahuasca. Some of them did San Pedro. Um, and it helped them. They are no longer struggling with addiction and whatnot because they were able to get to the root causation of what was causing that need to cope, that need for self-medication. And that's really, if that's what you're going to do it for, and you are in the presence of people who know how to assist you, beautiful. That is beautiful. That is empowering. But if you're just going to some like weekend retreat with people who got access to very sacred plant materials, uh, I mean, uh. I took a trip to Peru a few years back, and I was considering doing ayahuasca while in Peru. And the thing was, do they know the shamans who I would go to? Because I wanted to find a traditional shaman, not just like some retreat type thing and resort no, I want to be in the jungle. I want to be with a shaman who was taught by their forefathers and foremothers. So I was very specific. And then it was this question of, but do they know demonology? Because I mean, I think I would mess up everyone else's experience if I lost control and shields went down and I wasn't thinking of protecting everyone in my environment from what consistently tries me. And so I decided not to. I spoke to a real friend of mine who had done ayahuasca several times already. And I was like, girl, I was at the airport. I was like, girl, I'm thinking of doing ayahuasca in Peru. And she's like, why for? And I was like, I don't know. So, like, I don't know. And she goes, well, most people would do it in order to connect to their divinity. I would think that you're already beyond connected to your divinity and divinity at large. What would you need to do it for? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I thought that I would need to. And she goes, well, I'm not telling you not to, but I'm just saying if you don't know why you're doing it, then I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know why I would encourage you to. And that was the most powerful advice I've ever received. If you don't know why you're doing it, why are you doing it? Why do you think you need to do it? Right? And just because um, it helps someone else that you know does not necessarily mean it will help you. Okay? Be careful with that. Responsibility. Being very, very responsible in the way the way you travel through your life. Stepping into that high priest, high priestess role for yourself, where you begin to understand the gravity of your presence in your life. When you show up for yourself, it's a very powerful thing to witness, not just for you, but for everyone who witnesses you going through it. You know what I mean? So, you know, just kind of make sure you understand. Uh-oh, the feminine in reverse. It's usually that masculine that's in reverse. Today it's the feminine. Oh, okay. I spoke too soon. The masculine is in reverse as well. Y'all both be upside down. Ooh. Michaela over here tells me maybe the issue here Maybe the issue here is that you're both so full of pride that you would rather the world be upside down than be the first to cave. Wow. The magic is upside down. This connectivity is something that's kind of upside down and it needs to be corrected. One of you needs to be strong enough to be able to have the courage, to find the courage to step forward in a very solid manner towards this receiving of healing. I hear the word recollection. Do you guys even remember why you're upset with each other? Or are you even still upset? Is this a thing of at one point one of you was upset and then both of you was upset? And then you guys have just been upset, air quotes upset, for so long that you don't even know? And yeah, I don't know. It's just this heaviness that needs to be done with. Boundaries and concealment. Mm. Boundaries and concealment. For some of us, the reason people violate our boundaries, not saying it's your fault, just trying to explain, but for some of us, the reason our boundaries are violated so consistently is because we conceal where those boundaries are. I'm guilty of that too. Oh my gosh. I feel so called out. I'm guilty of that. I have a tendency to obscure where my boundary line is because I don't want to hurt people's feelings and I don't want to be inconsiderate. And, like I feel like it's my job to take care of everyone. And that totally doesn't sound good, but that's just a feeling. And I know so many empaths can resonate with this. Just this feeling of it's your job to take care of everyone. And sometimes you love it, sometimes you don't. And other times you're resentful. And if that's your truth, that's your truth. It doesn't make you a bad person. And when you create these distorted beliefs of, if anyone finds out that I don't want to do this, oh my gosh, they're all going to think I'm a bad person. The only person that thinks you're a bad person is you and the people who want to exploit you. Let that sink in. The only people who think you're bad when you expose the boundary line and enforce that boundary is you and the people who wanted to exploit the hidden line. That's not a loss to you. If they choose to walk away from you because they couldn't exploit you that one time, yet have been successful exploiting you every single other time, but that one time, that's not a loss, honey. That's not a loss. That's a blessing. That's a clearing. That is your soul blessing you with the space to allow genuine people in. I finally reached a point in my journey, and I'm so happy to be here that I'm not afraid of who or what I lose because I hold myself now and I'm not scared of what I lose. Now, some things that I lose during this period, it might hurt for a little bit, but eventually I'll get through it. Is it because the person didn't matter and this and that? I mean, I could lie to myself and say that, but no, that's not what I think. I don't think I'll get through it because that person didn't matter and I didn't care. No, when I let you in, because in order to lose you, I have to first let you in, right? When I let you in, you deeply mattered to me. That's a depth of love that's very hard to come across, even in friendship in this lifetime. So yeah, you matter to me, but I know I'll get through it because I matter more than you. I matter to me now more than you. And I realize there will always be people that I will come across who will match your level of friendship or far exceed it. And whatever is meant to be will stay with me. Whatever is meant to go will go no matter how hard I try to hold on to it. So now I'm in a state of flow. I'm just flowing with life. Golden crown. This is something that is causing your consciousness to reignite. Just really, allow yourself to go through the process that you need to go through. Intuition. This is causing the intuition to just go full kaboom. Full kaboom. You're getting all of these intuitive hits. You're getting all of these intuitive hits and you're being asked by your soul to be very, very cognitive of what this means. Huh? And ugh, ugh, it's hard. For many of us, it's like it's almost this feeling of like you want to walk away, but the thought of walking away is just so viscerally painful. The thought of walking away is the very thing that scares you into continuing to stay. That's so unhealthy. That is so unhealthy. You want to be healthy, right? You want to feel yourself growing and thriving in your life. I mean, it's going to take a process to get comfortable with your process, but just the knowing that it is a process. There's no rush, there's no need for comparing, there's no need for guilting yourself, there's no need for any of that. It is nothing but a process that can help you tremendously. Mm. I'm a bit scared, still trying to figure it out. Here's what I learned. Here's what I learned with this sentiment of still trying to figure things out. I will never figure things out to the degree that I'm comfortable moving forward. So, what's required of me is not understanding, but compliance. Not compliance with other human beings, but compliance with my soul. Complying with what my soul asks me to experience, to live through, to breathe in, to exhale. Whatever it is that my soul is asking of me, my understanding will come only after I've experienced it through my compliance with what I'm being asked to do. It's scary. It's scary. And it's very, very scary. Me personally, about a week ago, my soul asked me to relocate once again. And I'm kind of like, I don't want to. Now, like, I don't want to. And I look back at my life and it's like one of my biggest, most deepest, most painful regrets in this lifetime is when my soul asked me to relocate out of California. And I was so afraid. And I chose to stay. And that affected my children's health. At the time that I chose not to leave, my children were not yet sick. Had we left then, yeah, it's so scary. So scary. But had we left then, my children would not have gotten sick. It was our consistent exposure to glyphosate in the San Joaquin Valley that made myself and my children, even our mother effing dog, got sick. All our hair fell out. My dog looked like a bald monkey. Had I left when soul told me to leave, I would have had a different life. I mean, I love the life that I've lived. It hasn't been perfect. And the only thing that I wish I could have had different was that my children never got sick, you know? And so now when soul is telling me like it's time to leave, I don't want to leave. I don't want to move again, you know? Like soul has me bounce around so much. I don't want to leave again. But here I am looking at properties in every other state except the one that I'm in because it's time to go. How soon will that be? We'll know when I start packing things again. I mean, I'm not even unpacked yet, to be honest. But that's when we'll know. I'm not gonna fight it. You know, I was asking my husband, like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't want to have these types of regrets. So we'll see. And every single time we flow with what soul tells us. I mean, the blessings, the amazingness, the learning is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But it takes a certain level of courage to be able to take off that rucksack carrying all that emotional baggage, right? We've stuffed all of our emotions into this rucksack. It weighs maybe 120 pounds. It's just crazy. It's crazy. That time I was sharing with you guys, I went to Peru. I decided that I was going to be this little, badass. I thought I was going to be badass and I wasn't going to bring luggage. I was just going to bring a large backpack. And to give you an idea of how small I was at that time and how big my backpack was, I could fit in that backpack. I could literally squish myself down and fit into the backpack. And that's what I was carrying through airports. And it's like it was so heavy, but I didn't have the courage to put it down because uh, eventually when I found my courage traveling abroad, I did put the backpack down. That backpack literally weighed, I think, 10 pounds less than me. If you tug me in any way, shape, or form, I'm going down with a backpack. I'm not even joking. I was going to go down with a backpack. Hey, that's okay. That's okay because that taught me, first off, how strong I am. Secondly, it gave me the opportunity to experience the situations where I could cognitively come to the conclusion of it's time to set it down. Even for a little bit, we just got to set it down. And what's funny is uh, I was I entered the airport in I was in Texas. I forget where. I think it was the airport by Austin. I don't remember. I went to the airport And the very first time I go through TSA, I was carrying swords with me. They were in flag boxes, and I was carrying selenite swords because, I mean, they're selenite, they're very soft. You can't actually successfully subdue a person with a selenite sword. It will shatter the first impact. And so I'm going through TSA with my backpack and 3 selenite swords in flag boxes clipped onto my backpack. These boxes were about this big. And they scan the box. And next thing you know, all the TSA are looking at each other, looking at the screen, looking at me, looking for their supervisor. And I look over like, what's wrong, guys? Totally oblivious to the world. I look over and that looks like legit swords. Apparently, selenite will. It looks like legit swords. At which point they pointed at me and they said, sit down. And then they went and took the boxes over to their supervisor, who then opened my carefully packaged swords. And he's sitting on this like elevated platform and I was like, oh no, I feel like I'm in trouble. And I go to him and he's like, what's this? I was like, it's art. It's art. It's a selenite sword. It's handcrafted. And he's like, you can't travel like this. Why not? This is a sword, ma'am. And I was like, on the Moss scale of hardness, it's not very hard. It will break. Please be careful how you touch it. He touched all the swords. And here's the thing. The thing. No matter how you present it, weaponry is weaponry is weaponry. When you use your own weapons against yourself, even when you keep them carefully wrapped in flag boxes, there are people who are capable of recognizing the gravity of what weaponry you carry within yourself. Weaponry is weaponry is weaponry. If you want to go ahead and mount that sword onto the wall, you say you bought an ancient, a very, very old antique katana. That's still a sword. You can call it art. You can call it a collector's item. It's still a sword. A sword is a sword is a sword, right? Whatever you're hiding within yourself, eventually someone will see it and call you out on it. So that's me in Texas heading to New Jersey in order to fly to Peru. And that was the only time I was questioned about it. They did look at me sideways in Bogota, but they let me through, no questions. Coming back home, I didn't have the swords anymore, right? I didn't have them anymore because I had brought them to a client. Coming back home, I'm now carrying chonta spears, like in my backpack, and I just wrap the tip with plastic. They're spears, about maybe 2.5, 3 feet tall spears. And I went through so many international airports. Not a single person batted an eye. They're just like, oh, whatever. She's small. I arrive in Mexico City with, and I didn't realize, I did not realize what I was doing, but because I'm very sensitive to altitude, and I had package after package of coca candy. It's made from coca, but it's the leaves. And I had the tea leaves as well because I didn't want to leave it in the hotel room. So I packaged it up in a box. I arrive in Mexico City and the most adorable dog comes up to me at the airport and sits in front of my box. I was like, hi. And then I realized, uh-oh, it's letting the federales know that I have coca in my box. But like, it's just tea leaves. It's just tea leaves. And I didn't know that you're not supposed to bring that. I should have probably just left it in the hotel room. And that was the thing. They took the girl took one look at me. She looked me up and down. She was the one handling the dog. And she tells me to leave. And I'm like, sure, absolutely. But then maybe 15 minutes later on the other side of the airport, then I sent my stuff through their security. And then the older gentleman looks at me and he goes, Senorita. And I was like, si, senor. Just walking to him. Si, senor. And he's like, what's this? Oh, it's chonta. He goes, no, it's a spear. No, that's chonta. He's like, it's a spear. You could kill someone with this. No, I'm small. I'm serious. This was a conversation. I said, no, I'm small. I can't do that. I'm small. And he said that I could kill the pilot. And I was like, I can't. I'm small. Senor, I'm small. And he knew. He looked at me. He's like, mm-mm. He knew. Despite me trying to play like I'm small, I was very small then. Despite me playing that role with him, trying to play it up so that he wouldn't take my Jonta spear. It was a wooden spear. It was for real, a legit wooden spear. Two of them. And he's like, don't tell anybody, okay? Don't tell anybody I let you through. And I was like, gracias, senor. But he looked at me, he knew. He's like, girl, quit playing. It's like, no, un poquito. I'm un poquito, senor. I was like, I don't know. I think I was less than 100 pounds. I was un poquito. But he knew. He knew. I know. Like that's, but I didn't hurt anyone with it. That was a final flight to get back home. And I was just like, please don't get me stuck in Mexico City. This is my final flight. It's been like 18 hours. I just want to go home. But I wasn't leaving without that chonta. I was not leaving without my chonta. I will fist fight. No, I would not fist fight. And I was thinking to myself, like, girl, do you really want to go to a Mexican prison? And I was like, I'll fight everybody in prison. I'm not leaving without my chonta. Yeah. So I got through. But that was the thing. He used his intuition. He knew that, mm-mm. He dumped out my whole backpack. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, my thing. I was like, oh, man, I got to pack all that back in there. Yeah, nope. Shadow self. Some people are going to see your shadow self. You know that, right? Some people are going to see your shadow, and maybe you're the only one that thinks you're able to hide it. I know that gentleman saw my shadow. Because I kept insisting I'm un poquito. Un poquito. And he goes, no. Like he knew. He wasn't asking me for any type of bribe or anything. He was just like, no, this is a spear. Sometimes we lie to ourselves the best. Sometimes we are able to tell ourselves these storylines that really have nothing to do with the reality of who and what you are and how you can function. Time out in reverse. The time for a break is gone, right? It's gone. I think soul is trying to tell all of us that we need to begin really acting and living our truth. Our truth. And what your truth is, only you know. You cannot depend on other people to tell you who you are. You can gauge your character by other people's reactions. That can help to solidify what you're already coming to terms with. But at no point should you ever allow even a single person to dictate to you who you are. It's just not going to work that way. It's not. It's going to create a lot of cognitive dissonance for you. For you, you're going to become very much triggered. Like in the times where I've allowed people, notice how I said I allowed people to attempt to dictate to me the person that I am. Oh my gosh, those ended so badly. So badly. I'm not going to be okay with it, no matter how much I try and convince myself that it's okay. It's just their opinion. Like, that's fine. You have your opinion. What's not fine is you try and force upon me and try and force me to agree with your opinion. No. Having people try and convince me that I'm demonic. Like, bitch, I'll show you demonic. Let me find my mirror. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Monkey see, monkey do. So you have to define for yourself who you are. Surrender. Surrender to whatever it is that you're needing to accept about yourself. Is the screen doing weird things? The energy is getting really weird. Like an increase in, I almost want to say an increase in someone's realizations of how everything has played out. It's just a weird sense, a very, very weird sense. Someone's frustrated. Hi, Ben. So, celestial teacher. I'm wondering, I'm wondering if the person who is serving as your unknowing celestial teacher, I'm wondering if they're about to step forward. Like this need to kind of reacquaint themselves with you and your energy. It's almost like a reconnection. See how her high heart and then her heart space, it's almost like a reconnection is imminent. Limitless. Allowing yourself to enter into this space of limitlessness. And being limitless does not mean that you're always completely confident, that you are always in control, that you are, achieving things that are beyond human comprehension. No, you can live like a basic human being and still be limitless. Limitless is a frame of mind, not a state of living. And the more you allow that frame of mind to be integrated into your day-to-day life, the more your state of living becomes an expression of your limitlessness. Patience. What? What do you mean? I'm like, Mr. Patience, what do you mean? Where have I heard that term before? I don't remember. Mr. Patience. I don't know. Hope. Allowing yourself to recognize there are still things that give you hope. And as you allow yourself to tap into that hope, you then begin to allow yourself to take the necessary steps to ripen that hope into knowing, gnosis. Hope and faith are sort of like the toddler version of divine connection because you're hoping, you have faith that something outside of you will help you. And as you enter into the adulthood of your soul, it becomes this thing of knowing. You know that you can handle this. It might be difficult, but you can handle it. You will get through it. You know this. Believe. Ooh, someone believes in you like they believe a phoenix rising. They believe that you are a resurrection, um, uh, embodiment of a future potentiality. They see this within you, and it's like they really, really love this about you. Awaken. It's just taking some time for them to wake up from their slumber or for you to wake up from your slumber. So that way, um, you can have a better idea of which way is forward for yourself. Releasing allegiances. It's time to let go. I think they're letting go and you're letting go. Are you guys letting go of each other or are you letting go of old stuff? I feel like it's a letting go of old stuff. So releasing allegiances, just kind of laying naked in your truth, making sure that you're embodying the totality of the truth of who and what you are. Card number 8, be the hunter, not the hunted. Allowing yourself to receive is what this card is about. Letting yourself go after the very thing that you want. Um, hmm, yeah. What is it that you want? Do you know? Do you know what you want from life, what you want from yourself, what you want, what you want, what you want? You have to know that before you can go after it. Card number 7, legacy of light. Remember I was saying the toddlerhood entering into an adulthood so that you can return back to your elder state. Most people will not reach their elder state in this lifetime, but that doesn't mean you have to stay in your toddlerhood. You can still exist as the adulthood of your soul in this lifetime, right? In this lifetime. Oops. You have to have faith in your process. You have to allow yourself to really just be broken down. That's part of your deconstruction. And that deconstruction leads to your reconstruction, this rebuilding of self and soul. Card number 18, spirals of manifestation, allowing yourself to recognize you are the one manifesting the experience and the way you experience it. If you want a better experience, you have to choose better things for yourself. No. Card number 13, power of attraction. You're attracting to you the very experiences that you need. And those experiences will be hand delivered by specific people. It's up to you who that person is going to be. But if you're not going to listen to your soul, then it's going to be a very major, major, major experience. Card number 27, receive. Receiving. Oh, God. Allowing yourself to receive what's coming. This is a direct instruction from soul, letting you know not to reject things that need to first be allowed to kind of commingle, right? This doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get back in a relationship with somebody. I don't know why people are so Michael is really, you don't know why some people, okay, I don't know why we are so quick to be like, no. It doesn't necessarily indicate that you're going to be put in a romantic relationship with a specific person. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay. So you have to allow whatever process is needing to take place for you to realize things on a much higher level. Card number 35, conscious connections. Pisces, they've been looking at you for a very long time. They've lost all their color, just fixated on you. fixated, 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 you know? And maybe you're also fixated on them. Who knows? Who knows? I'd like to think that we can have whatever perception we have. We can go ahead and feel however we feel and see however we see specific people in our lives or people who are not in our lives. But the reality is, this would not keep being front and center if it wasn't something that was front and center for you. So maybe there's a reciprocity going on here with the pulling in of each other's energies. Maybe there's a reciprocity for you guys. This is making my eyes burn and it's making me feel sleepy. For you guys. Card number 31, trust yourself. Allow yourself to trust yourself. You know what you need. Like going back to the first thing we talked about when Ia was asking about ayahuasca, like I knew in my heart, I don't need ayahuasca. I've never needed, um, I've never needed mind altering substances to be able to tap into a depth of divinity that is just hard to comprehend for most people. I just don't need that. It doesn't make me better than you. It just makes me different. I function differently. So if I don't need that, I need to be honest with myself and not do that. Right. So now I'm wondering, is that a secondary message of if you really didn't need this specific person or this specific circumstance, situation, why does it keep coming forward? So there's probably a need there. You or they or both of you probably still need some component that can only be gotten from the other person. Because when things are done, they just finish. They just finish. Like, I don't walk away from people until it's really finished. Like, if I've let you in, I will hold on and hold on and hold on for the longest time. And the only time I actually walk away is when it's actually done, at which point I'm never letting you back in. Never. Never. You know, I know my process. I know who I am. I know how I function. Do you know who you are? Do you allow yourself to see your process, the way you function in so many different circumstances? Do you allow yourself to be honest with yourself? Right. And it's not necessarily that you're lying to yourself, it's that maybe you're not seeing the reality of who you are. Maybe you've bought into things that other people have said, or maybe you're being your own hype person and you're not being honest with you. Because there's been times where and it's very rare, very, very rare. Twice I walked away from different people and I wasn't ready to walk away. And one of those times was kind of just like, oh, oh, right. And I ended up refriending that person. And I guess it just wasn't yet time because I hadn't actually seen the person that they are. And so after I allowed them back into my life for a short period, then I got to see, then I got to see who they actually are. And then it was done. Then it was actually fully done. And one more person, like I haven't had it in me to like reach out and allow them back in and kind of reassess what this is and all of that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's something that will ever happen. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just something that just needs to be left alone. Card number 6, shock of the new. Oh, shock of the new. So this kind of makes me feel like you're going to react in a different way to a same type of circumstance. Maybe you haven't been very honest with yourself in the person's actual rightful place in your life, in your heart. Who knows? But it's just this sense of shock of the new. It's going to be a different reaction to the same thing, the same person. Well, I don't know if I should say the same thing because it's almost like the feeling of they're completely different, that their life has completely changed them. And so now, oh, is that what it is? The shock of the new? Like a reconnection will occur because you or they have become a completely different person. Shock of the new, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. You're going to see. You're going to see, and it's going to be fine. Let's get one final card and then I have to go. Sorry, we're ending this a little bit early. I need to cut back the time from 90 minutes to 60. Sorry. Last night's expedites was crazy. I'm still exhausted from it. It was super draining. Not in a bad way, but just like realizations of how the webs connect us. All right. Woohoo. Card number 13. Thank you, Louise. Card number 13, arise. Wings of hope languish from lack of use. When wings dissipate and weaken, life begins to lose its value. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenges. Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. Don't sit at the bottom of the well, not caring about salvation. Listen to the voice within calling to you. Reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. Reach for Emmy. I'm joking. I dance before you in sacred spectacle, hoping to garner your attention. Look at me, I cry to your ailing spirit and despondent flesh. Look at me. If you were to look up, you would see that I'm a mirror of your own being, your light, your heart, your spirit, your all. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is a letting go taking place, and you are frightened and certain and uncertain sometimes. But you make this mean something that it does not. It means that you are to turn your head away from what is dying. Do this gently but firmly. Turn your head towards what is living. Look at me. I will show you the truth, and you shall laugh your deepest belly laughter with so much glee, sharing in my secret that the only force at work in your life is unconditionally loving divinity. I see in you a divine wild child and sacred heart. You have gumption, chutzpah, guts. You dare to love where others only see pain. You dare to believe that everything will somehow work out where others only see what they judge to be wrong. You see love where others ply fear. You seek freedom where the world still buys into manipulation and propaganda. Don't lose your heart, beloved wild child. Dare to believe. You are right to do so. It is the divine rebel in you that refuses to surrender hope. Give up the fight, perhaps, the battle that comes from a place of fear, but never give up your hope. That hope in your heart, that optimism and patience for growth and to love creates a light within you that helps the world see through darkness. It becomes a candle that shimmers contentedly upon the windowsill of your heart temple. There it is, more obvious even in darkness. The stars do appear to shine brighter at night, but don't be consumed by your nightmares. They will pass with the coming dawn, you'll see. Don't give them too much stock. Instead, put your attention towards that defiant candle of hope that burns, as is its nature and purpose within you. Can you sense its warmth, even in the presence of cold fear? It shall warm you now, and if not, then I come to remind you. You are a blazing angel. You're filled with holy fire and shall prevail. The joy of you, the expanse of you, you fill my own heart with your magnificent essence. I see and know the great beloved in you. There, the great beloved is, looking out at me from behind your eyes. I see the candlelight from your heart temple flicker within your gaze. That is what the candle of hope honors, the workings of the great beloved, so creative and crazed. It has tremendous love for you, so that all circumstances of your life, down to the tiniest detail, are evoked out of love. Love out of passionate desire takes you from despair into hope, from holding on to letting go, from turning away to opening up. So the great beloved takes you across the moonlit ocean into the temple of the cosmic heart. Here, an eternal flame burns bright with hope, igniting the light within the hearts of all of humanity. You're being asked to trust, to gently lay to rest the suffering that has been, perhaps because of what you've labeled as a failure, the doubt, the losses, and setbacks. They are so little in the greater scheme of you. Put them aside. Allow them to rot and become fertilizer for life. But do not try to keep them alive beyond their earthly expiry date, lest you become tainted or poisoned by the rot. Let them go and instead focus on what is alive now. Can you sense that before you is a great being of light, a greater pathway opening up? This is truth, blazing angel. This is truth. Take the step. So easy it is when the light of the heart is felt within, reminding you of your own divine nature. The world is here for you to experience so that you may realize divinity in its majesty, mystery, and love, more so than ever. All serves that sacred purpose, so embrace it. Find your faith, be at peace. Know that no matter what appears to be, all is well. You are so loved. It cannot even begin to be translated sufficiently into words, but it can be transmitted from my heart to yours. Just as the sun catches dried tinder and sets it aflame, this oracle comes with a message for you. Arise. You have been downtrodden for long enough now. Perhaps you've been feeling defeated, put upon, underestimated, or walked over in mind, body, or spirit by others or your own doubts and fears. Even now, you are liberated through the hope in your heart, the defiant optimism that buoys your spirit and demands that you shall have your dawn. You shall rise like the sun and begin anew now. Step up. It's your time. It's truly your time. It's your time to step back into that rightful place. You believe you're in a hole, unable to escape. All you have to do is stand and you'll see you won't even need to climb out. You can step out. Don't allow this false belief of lacking, of scarcity, this false belief that you are not enough, that you will be rejected, that you will this, you will that. No. Put down the heavy backpack. Just set it down. And if you have this fear of, but what if someone steals it? Who wants your emotional baggage? Who's going to steal that? Nobody. So set your backpack down. Allow, allow, allow. Set down the backpack. Lay down in the grass. Allow yourself to stare at the sky for however long you want or need. Stare at the sky while the sun dances across it. Enjoy the clouds juxtaposed in front of the blue sky. Allow yourself to watch from that place, that same space, as the stars come out and the day turns into night. It does not matter. You have the freedom to do as you want for as long as you want. That includes choosing your suffering. You get to choose how long you suffer. I really, truly hope that in regards to your suffering, you stop choosing to continue to do so. That you continue to grow and choose self-love, self-compassion, just really allowing yourself the time and the space to heal. You deserve that. That's your space to do with as you want, right? You don't have to whip yourself to prove you're a good person. And I promise you, the people who would ask you to whip yourself to prove this, the people who would be okay watching you hurt and harm yourself just to prove you're a good person, they're unworthy of you. They are unworthy of you. They do not deserve the beautiful, beautiful gift that you are. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that. So see yourself with a light of truth. You are a gift, first to yourself and then to others. Start cherishing yourself the way you need. Okay? So, guys, that's it for today. I got to get going. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. If you are watching me from Facebook, please share out this video, share it everywhere. And don't just give me a thumb. I would like the heart. Please give me a heart and a share. Make it multiple shares. And I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your